Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gundorian Smith, and today I'm going to be doing a replay that I've had for a very long time, but I actually have not been able to upload it because of the fact that I've had a lot of better ones. And this one is still exciting, even though it's only a 1v1v1, it is still actually relatively exciting because of some special rules that we had in place. So this one is going to be taking place on the Dry Lake bed, and it is going to include myself commanding an army from Rhun. We have got Harad over there commanded by Dark Elven King, and we've got the leader of the DF clan, that being Bobo 16k, playing as his favorite dwarves of Erebor. So we can go ahead and get into the army compositions, and then I will get into the special rules themselves. So we can look at my army comp first, I suppose. I've got 2 units of fully upgraded Eastron Clansmen, just kind of there to play a fodder type role. I've also got 2 units of Eastron Guard on either side, sorry. I've also got 3 units of the AP Loke Gamp Rim Halberds, 3 units of the AP Loke Gamp Rim. I've got 2 units of the Loke Cyan Rim Heavy Spears. I've also got a unit of the Balkoth Sapphire Bladesmen, a unit of the Dragon's Wrath Crossbows, 1 unit of the Balkoth Tribesmen, and then back here I've got my General and a unit of Camille's Dragon Knights, as well as 1 unit of Eastron Clan Chiefs. So this is pretty much a not a very balanced army, and generally this is not an army you'd see very often at all. And that will actually be the case for both of these other armies as well, and that is going to be because of the rules. So we'll go ahead and look at the Harad army being commanded by Dark Elven King. He's got some dismounted Serpent Guard here and there. He's got a few units of the Harad Spears. He's of course going to be bringing the Demons of the Desert, very, very deadly javelins because they are body piercing. Unlike, I actually had thought, because this is a long time ago, this replay is really quite old, I had actually thought that the Balkoth Sapphire Bladesmen were actually also body piercing javelins, but they are unfortunately not, so they were kind of wasted in this battle, which is rather unfortunate, because they do cost like 1,200 florins. However, he's also got his own Demons of the Desert, like I said. He's got 3 units of the Muhad Muhad Berserkers, rather, sorry, so some good AP that will be good against both the Dwarves and myself. He's got 1 unit of the Muhad Beast Masters. These guys ride camels and they throw javelins. He's also got a unit of the Muhad War Beasts. These guys are seldom used, however they are still pretty good. He's also got 2 units of the Serpent Guard and another unit of his Muhad Beast Masters. And then over here he's got 1 unit of the Champions of Nafrat for his General. He's got a unit of the Muhad Beast Hunters, which are of course javelins, and he's got some hidden Hashari Rangers, as well as some standard Hashari as well, some around here. But that'll pretty much do it for his army. We will see the rest of his hidden units come out later in the battle. Over here we have got the final army, that being of course the Dwarves of Erebor, being commanded by Bobo 16k. He's got a couple units of the Ironfoot Wargoats, extremely slow but extremely deadly lancers. And because of their heavy armor, even though they don't have a shield, they can still weather quite a few arrows before going down. And while they do have that -4 penalty against other cav, being dwarves and with that really good armor, they can actually stay in melee for a pretty long amount of time. He also has 1 unit of the Ironfoot Hammer Guard here, who are incredibly strong melee cav with a +10 bonus against other cav. These guys are knights, so they are very expensive, but they're very well worth it to bring. Back here in his very back line, he's got 3 units of upgraded Ironfoot Warriors. 1 is non-upgraded over here. He's also got 2 units of the Ironfoot Crossbows, 2 units of the Erebor Legionaries, 1 unit of the Dragon Slayers of Ered Mithrin for his General. And these guys are actually AP, which is nice. He's also got a bunch of Miners and Halberds for his front line, and that'll pretty much do it for his army, so we can go into the rules. And the rules for this one, all 3 of us actually hadn't played in a long time, and it was actually a really fun match because we were all in the same voice chat. So it was really fun. We decided just to kind of mess around a little bit, so we decided that we would do a free-for-all, where we would each split off our armies in 2, and then just send them all into a big mosh pit in the middle, so we're basically all fighting each other all at the same time. And that's pretty much the only rule, and that is mainly why you're not going to be seeing a lot of skirmishers, particularly from my army. I don't have a single unit of crossbows, or, well, besides these 3 units here, I don't have any skirmishers at all. And that is because I was mainly focusing on trying to win in the infantry fight. Although looking back, I probably should have brought more cavalry, because I definitely have the least amount overall. However, I do have some pretty good infantry. But that'll pretty much do it for the rules as well, so we can go ahead and start this one off. You can see that Bobo actually does have a somewhat nice hill to sit on as of now. And we will be moving forward pretty shortly here to begin the engagement. I believe I fight Harad over here, and then the dwarves like way up here, and then the dwarves and Harad fight like down here or something like that. You can see we're all moving forward now. Definitely going to be having fire wheel off so we don't take any pot shots before the battle actually does begin. And then you're going to see me, splitting off my forces here, trying to get them as even as possible. And while Harad moving forward, he's kind of the furthest away from everyone, so he's going to have to move forward the most. Meanwhile, the dwarves, we can see he's got his dwarven miners in the front, good AP fodder unit. He's also got some Erebor legionaries, extremely good sword and shield infantry because they have locked morale, which is very nice because the dwarves of Erebor as a whole don't have super great morale. So having some locked units like this really does help them out quite a lot. And now you can see I'm going to be moving forward with more of my heavy infantry. Got my halberds rushing forward before they get shot to death by the crossbows. And now you can see things are going to get really hairy. As you can see, we're getting pretty close to each other now. You can see the dwarven cavalry going around on either side. This is gonna be, I can tell you, this one was actually a really fun fight, and it was also good. It was also good fun too because we were all trash talking each other non-stop the entire time, which is of course always fun, as long as it is done in a lighthearted manner. And now I think it's going to be a little bit of a stalemate here, just for a little while, and then we will rush forward. You can see I have my officer just commanding the first assault, and here we've got the Harad spears kind of setting up. And I think this is where it'll start off. I'm going to be rushing forward at Bobo. So we were supposed to all rush at each other at the same time, but of course we couldn't really do that exactly. So you will see me. Oh wait, actually no. Oh yeah, this was unfortunate. I tried to make my whole man just shift slightly, but unfortunately they decided to change their positions entirely, which kind of made me get not in the best position. But it's alright because we weren't actually fighting just yet. It's my clan guard there. The Eastern clan guard are going to get, or the Eastern guard are actually not a horrible unit, and they will actually get a nice buff in the coming patch. And he's got one crossbow on either side. The crossbows are, as long as they don't get assaulted in any way, they will actually cause a lot of damage up on this hill position. Because in terms of straight up positioning, Bobo probably has the best because he is positioned very nicely on this hill here. However, it shouldn't matter too much because technically he's supposed to be rushing off of it anyway. So yeah, trying to split my forces, decide what I want to do. You can see I've kind of just formed like a wedge here, so has Harad as well as the dwarves of Erebor. And I think I'll speed it up a little bit here, because this whole time we were also just trash talking each other, like I said before. So it was all good fun. I really liked this battle. It was tons of fun. It was a huge blast. Back here, let me take a little bit of a closer look. I'm surprised that Harad only brought the 2 javelins, the one Muhad Beast Hunters and the 1 Demon of the Desert, and that's it. He brought 4 units of those Berserkers though, which should do well as long as they don't get skirmished down. And here we go. You can see my runic force. I split about halfway, rushing at Erebor, but unfortunately, Bobo is not going to be coming off of this slight incline. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a big deal. It's not that much of a hill, but still, he is actually not even going to have to rush off into my forces, and I'm just going to have to throw my clansmen up against here, up against these line of halberds and miners. So it's going to be difficult. You can see my Siren going around to deal with the Ironfoot warriors, and also bringing forward my Loke game from as quickly as possible, although they are taking a lot of crossbow fire. Meanwhile, over here, I'm doing the same clansmen against some spears and serpent guard. There's also a bunch of berserkers. We've got more Gameform and Flagrim and Siren going all around the flanks. Let's see what Harad... Yes, Harad has also crashed against the Dwarven line. He's got more spears and berserkers, although against those halberds he will struggle. And there's the Ironfoot Wargoats coming around, probably going to get a real nice charge off either onto the Ashari Stalkers who are taking obscene crossbow fire, or right into that back line of infantry, which would not be good. It looks like that is in fact what Bobo is going to go for here. Going to charge directly into the Berserkers who are going to try to countercharge. That's not going to be too good for them. However, here comes some Serpent Guards who try to wrap around with Ironfoot Wargoats. However, the damage has really been done at this point. Meanwhile, we have actually got the Ironfoot Wargoats over here fighting against my Eastern Clan Chiefs, and these Eastern Clan Chiefs do have a bonus against cavalry in melee, so I'm going to try to get these guys stuck in there with the Ironfoot Wargoats. And you can see I've also got my javelins tossing right into the Ironfoot Wargoats. I'm going to try to deal with those guys as quickly as possible. I've also got my Camul's Dragon Knights going wherever they need to be. You can see a huge rout from Harad here, so Harad's first assault into the Dwarven line has really failed, at least so far. Meanwhile, over here, my Clansmen and Clan Guard are really outnumbered here, and unfortunately, because of the chaos of the overall battle, I won't be able to do too much. And see, this is what I mean about it being unfortunate, kind of a waste that I brought these guys, because if they were BP, if these guys were the Demons of the Desert, this entire block of Muhad Beast Hunters would have been absolutely leveled. As it is, they still did a pretty good amount of damage, but not nearly enough, and so I probably should not have brought them. Meanwhile, I've also got some Loke Siren going to the Champions of Nafarat, Ashari Stalkers, and the like. Over here, I've got my Dragon Knights charging into the flanks of these Ironfoot Warriors. I'm going to try to rout these guys. Most of my clan chiefs are dead, but same goes for the Ironfoot Warguards who are actually routing now. Over here we've got the Ironfoot Warriors, again thinking about routing, but in the center things are really not looking too good. Bobo committed another rank of Ironfoot Warriors, and my front line was just not able to deal with that, so I'm going to have to commit another unit of Look Flagrim just to try to hold there for enough, or for at least some period of time. Erebor Legionaries are also in the fight now, doing a good job at cutting down my low Gamprim. Meanwhile, over here we've also got the Ironfoot Hammer Guard, taking a lot of javelins from those Muhad Beast Hunters, so good play there by Dark Elven King. However, you can see a lot of Dark Elven King's infantry has gone down against this front wave. And here comes some Dragon Slayers of Eric Mithrin. Ooh, a nice charge from the Ironfoot Hammer Guard into the dismounted Serpent Guard, who were trying to go after my Flagrim, who are going to be supporting the front line. And now that I've got my Camille's Dragon Knights in the back lines of Erebor, I should be able to start turning things a little bit back in my favor. These Lancers are really, really deadly. I've also got my Dragon's Wrath crossbows on the flank. I'm going to be trying to fire them at pretty much anything I can. And yeah, a very good charge there into the back of the Ironfoot Warriors. Unfortunately, not enough to rout them, but it still did cause a lot of damage. I'm going to have to pull them out and then continue to charge elsewhere. Back there, we've got some returning units to Harad. Over here, my other contingent of forces is not doing the greatest. All of my Valkoth Sapphire tribesmen were defeated. There goes my Scion Rim. Unfortunately, I kind of overextended myself. I kind of pushed units forward where they shouldn't have. Actually, he brought 2 units of Rangers. I forgot about that. He brought 2 units of the Hishari Stalkers, so he did take that price increase, but still. Over here, my forces are meeting defeat really left and right. However, this fight is going to be a little bit closer now because Dark Elven King is now focusing his forces back over to the Dwarves. See the Javelins going into those Halberds as well as the Miners, maybe? But, oof, yeah. Definitely good for Bobo that he didn't really even have to charge in at any of us. He kind of was just able to sit on this hill. And there, a nice charge from his Knights into the back of my Flagger. Maybe going to be enough to rout them, and if they are, that would be very, very unfortunate for me. Crossbows, maybe out of ammo, going to be committed. Here comes some... Oh, the Harad... the Haradrim charge from behind enough to rout my forces. They're really not looking good anymore for me at the moment. Nor for Harad, honestly. The Dwarves are definitely the strongest. Meanwhile, I still have my Camille's Dragon Knights going elsewhere. Dragon's Wrath crossbows are being assaulted by Dwarven Miners and Erebor Legionaries, so that's not good for them at all. Over here, it's still looking somewhat close, but I need to get my cavalry around here and start cycle charging into these Erebor Legionaries pretty quick if I want to hold on. Thankfully, even though they are currently getting run down, a number of these troops will actually return to me. Over here, it's still looking pretty close. I've still got a few Gamprim as well as some Eastern Guard holding back the Haradrim forces. Here's those Javelins going in circle formation now. And then you also have to remember that in the chaos of this entire battle, we were also just taking everything out of each other as much as we could in terms of just messing around. You can see the Muhad War Beast now going into the back of the Halberds who are dealing with the Champions of Nafarat. Nice charge there. However, a few of those Rhinos going down, unfortunately. Here comes more Halberds and Crossbowmen running around. There are my Gamprim returning to the fight, same with the Flagrim. I've only got 16 of those Dragon Knights there. We're getting targeted by crossbows, but there really wasn't too much I could do about that. Over here there are still 59 Legionaries. There go my Valkoth tribesmen. I've still got a number of Flagrim, but they're about to be attacked now. My Ironfoot Warriors on one side and Legionaries on the other. Over here I've got my crossbows getting butchered again still by the Miners and the Legionaries. However, you can see the Legionaries are taking a lot of losses. And there goes the Dwarven General, and that is very, very good. I think that was actually the Dragon Slayers of Eric Mithrin with the Halberds that were fighting against the Champions of Nafarat, although the Champions of Nafarat were able to win that fight, it looks like, surprisingly enough. And there's the Ironfoot Hammer Guard going down. There are still 5 of them left. And with that dead general, we may actually see quite a lot of routing from the Dwarves of Erebor here. You can see those crossbowmen, in fact, routing after a charge from the Serpent Guard and the Beast Hunters, as well as the Muhad War Beasts, who are actually now running amok, unfortunately. There's the Ironfoot Hammer Guard. Honestly, if Dark Elven King wants to take out these Hammer Guard right now, he definitely could just by charging into them with his Serpent Guard. Over here, we've got some crossbows fighting against my Flagrim, and what's left of my Gamprim over here. I've got a few of my Knights stuck in there, it looks like, as well. And over here, I was actually able to beat the Haradrim Infantry with my Gamprim and my Eastron Guard, who are actually now routing. So I will be able to commit these guys elsewhere. I'm going to just charge them into the back of these Dwarves. The Dwarves are still definitely the strongest, definitely. Although Harad's definitely contesting that, and I mean, I've got some stuff left, but not a lot. The only thing that could really cause a lot of damage probably would be these Dragon Knights, especially because my Warlords, or crossbows back there, are still getting attacked. Loke Flagger, I'm gonna try to charge into the back of these Ironfoot warriors with my Cumulus Dragon Knights, and it is going to be enough to see them off the field. Unfortunately, but for me and Dark Elven King anyway, Bobo still does have a number of his legionaries left, which is very unfortunate because those guys will not rout. Ooh, and actually a nice charge maybe into my... Nope, maybe not. But yeah, I will be able to actually charge into the back of these legionnaires now, and Bobo is actually now going to turn tail and run with his remaining forces because he does see that Harad and myself, if Harad and I teamed up, we would definitely be able to beat him. He does notice that, so he is actually going to have to run away, or he's going to at least try to run away. There go my camp room routing. Yeah, right now Harad probably looks like it's the strongest, although here comes some Hammerguard going to charge into the back of my flag rim. Might be enough to rout them, and it is definitely going to turn the tide back in favor of these Erebor legionaries, so I need to get my cavalry over here and try to cycle charge into those legionaries. Still got 12 of them remaining, but I do have to be careful. There's Flagrim and Gamprim trying to cut down some of those beast hunters. I'm also going to charge down here, try to rout some more of these dwarves, as well as cause some damage to Harad. A little bit of collateral damage. And now I think Harad's probably the strongest. I need to get my knights out of there, though, because he's still got his stalkers, and he's still got his 36 champions of Nafarat. However, Bobo still has those 38 legionaries, and he's got his units that he's running away with. That being 21 Erebor legionaries plus 119 dwarven miners. So now is where things kind of really slow down, you can see, as Boba has pretty much run away with most of what he's got left. Then I tried to charge into the back of the Nord Beast Hunters. And there are my few remaining Dragon's Breath crossbowmen, targeting down a few of those Ironfoot Hammerguard. We'll have Beast Hunters actually routing after that, but I should really, I think my Flagrim over here are all dead, they routed. And so now all I have left on the field are those Loke Flagrim who are about to get killed by Harad, my 11 Cumulus Dragon Knights, and my 5 Dragon's Wrath crossbowmen. Although here come Bobo's legionaries, as well as he's got some more right here. And I will be able to get a nice charge down right into the back of the Beast Hunters and Champions of Nafarat. But yeah, my few remaining Gamprim and Flagrim will not be able to hold up to these champions for very long. But I also have to be careful because I've only got 9 of those Cumulus Dragon Knights left, so I will actually be charging as much as I can, but I need to be very careful. I've only got 8 now because of the Hashari Stalkers who just got charged by the Ironfoot Hammerguard. But yeah, Bobo looks like he might be coming back with his forces that he had majorly retreated. Serpent Guard actually routing. My Gamprim and Flagrim will probably follow suit, though, after getting attacked from behind by these Erebor legionaries. There's my Dragon's Breath crossbows still. I'm going to try to cause whatever damage I can with them. I believe I'm going to be targeting after these Erebor legionaries. And there goes my Dragon Knights charging into the Dwarven miners. See if my crossbows can get an effective volley off. Ooh, actually not bad, killing 6 or so maybe? 5 or 6? I still have 8 of those Dragon Knights left over. And I still do have a pretty decent amount of ammo, honestly, left over with my Dragon's Wrath crossbows, which is a good thing, because there are still 23 legionaries over here, as well as 24 of those champions of Nafarat. There's 2 of those Hammerguard. You can see my routing Scion Rim back there. Here comes some Beast Hunters. Yeah, there's the Hammerguard once again charging there. And there are 12 of those Shard Stalkers. I was targeting the champions as well as the Erebor legionaries. I'm just trying to cause as much damage as possible. Also back there, I've got 6 Cumulus Dragon Knights, just trying to deal with the legionaries and the miners over there, trying to cause as much damage as possible. 21 champions and 9 legionaries. So now things are getting really close. There's also still those 12 Hashari Stalkers. There's a few more legionaries and champions. My Dragon's Wrath crossbowmen actually not doing too horrible, even though they were... Most of the unit was killed early on. They're not doing super bad. Well, right now they're actually getting targeted by those body-piercing rangers of Harad. I've got 6 of those Dragon Knights left over. There's still the 15 legionaries as well as the 80 miners. And now we're still just all fighting each other pretty much. There goes the halberds actually routing. Only 5 legionaries left. And I decided to stop firing at Harad because I wasn't really sure who was stronger. I mean, there are 16 champions of Nafarat could still beat the 15 legionaries that are over there, but there are still 80 of those miners as well. So I honestly would maybe want to consider saving this and trying to go after those miners, maybe? I mean, it wouldn't be the best target, but there's just so many of those miners that even if I was able to get a few volleys off, it would maybe be able to rout them, especially with that dead general of Erebors. Yeah, 12 champions of Nafrat left over, 11 actually. 3 of those beast hunters, 1 demon of the desert remaining. And now will actually be the end of my Dragon's Wrath crossbows because I was actually focused elsewhere and I wasn't paying attention, and my crossbowmen were actually getting assaulted. And this will be the end of my champions, or no, of my Dragon's Wrath crossbows getting killed by the last of those champions of Nafrat, which is very unfortunate because now it's going to be really close. There's still those champions of Nafrat that are left over. There's still 12 Hashari Stalkers, who are by no means bad in melee. And there's still 15 Legionaries, 76 Dwarven Miners, and then I've also got 2 Dragon Knights, one of which is my general, actually. Pardon me. Yeah, I've only got 2 of my Dragon Knights left over, which is really not the best. Not by any means. I'm going to try to run down these Hashari Stalkers. And at this point, since I have pretty much, well, I have honestly nothing left except for those Dragon Knights, I was thinking that if I allowed mainly the Legionaries to get killed by most of these champions, then I would maybe be able to cycle charge into the back of the Dwarven Miners and maybe be able to rout them and get a win. That was at least my plan, but well, you'll just have to see if it works out or not. Currently, you can see my cavalry is getting shot by those Hashari Stalkers, which is definitely not great, because having fought this entire time, they don't have hit points anymore, which means they will be vulnerable to those arrows. And I was actually surprised that my general is still alive, which was actually a very nice thing. But I'll go ahead and speed it up, because this is where we're still deciding what we want to do. Like just how we wanted this to turn out. Well, basically just we were kind of trying to create plans. Back over here though, still 12 of those Stalkers, 10 of those champions, 1 demon, so there's a few beast hunters. But yeah, look at this hill where the dwarves were able to just sit up here and just defeat wave after wave of Harad and Rhun. So that was a real nasty fight, as well as down here where I fought against Harad as well. So that was, yeah, very, very cool play. Unfortunately, it wasn't a perfect, like, a little triangle or whatever, but still it wasn't bad. Yeah, very nice for Bobo that he was able to position himself on that hill. Didn't really even have to come down at all. Very, very good for him. Here goes the Hashari Stalkers, and here come my Dragon Knights with the Dwarves coming now. Gonna try to deal with the Hashari Stalkers just right away. But unfortunately, they're actually shaken, and that was not good at all. I was like, why are they shaken? My general is shaken. You can see there's 1 left, and he routed. I was so disappointed. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? My general routed. I was so disappointed. There goes the Haradrim general. And now that my cavalryman is dead, now things are going to get really hairy. I mean, there are 8 champions of Nafrat, and you can see they're doing a pretty good job at cutting down those Dwarven Miners. But there are also still those 15 Legionaries. There's the 1 Demon of the Desert. There's these 12 Hashari Stalkers as well. So it's going to be close. And unfortunately, because my 1 cavalryman routed, I can't even cycle charge into the back of these miners, which is very unfortunate. Because if I was able to do that, then probably these miners would end up routing, and there would still be the 6 champions of Nafrat to try to help out against these 12 Legionaries now. But honestly, these Hashari Stalkers aren't doing horrible against the Legionaries. That is because they are by no means bad in melee. Yeah, I was very, very disappointed that my Camul's Dragon Knight routed, especially considering he was my general. So there's only 1 champion of Nafrat left over, and this is pretty much going to be in the bag now for Bobo, as the last of these Hashari are getting cut down. But a lot of those, I mean, see, there's 34 of them. They're already thinking about routing just after dealing with that 1 champion. So if I was able to even have that 1 Camul's Dragon Knight charge into the back here, that would have been enough to rout him, and that would have kept me in the fight a little bit longer. But as it is, I think this one will pretty much go to Bobo, but it was definitely very, very close. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This one was really fun. It's a very old replay, like I said, but it was definitely a very fun one. Definitely, I probably should not have brought those Valkyrot Sapphire Tribesmen. They weren't the best overall. Maybe a crossbow unit would have been better, or even just more infantry. But yeah, here go the last of the Hashari Stalkers. 6 Legionaries only remaining, as well as 32 Dwarf Miners. So I mean, just imagine if I was able to rout those guys with a cav charge from behind. There would only be 6 of these dwarves versus like 5 Stalkers and then plus my 1 cavalryman. So very close. Would have been very close. But as it was also still an incredibly close battle. Just too bad that my general decided to rout like that. Yeah, very fun. I enjoyed this one a lot. I hope you guys did as well. We'll watch the last stand of the Haradrim forces. 3 Hishari Stalkers remaining. I think I can go ahead and put up to 6 times speed though. There goes some routing Ironfoot Halberds. Yeah, this one was actually a really, really fun battle. It was really enjoyable to rewatch as well. Hishari getting one more kill before the end. And there goes... Yes, there goes the replay. So I actually deployed the most men, and I was able to get the second most kills, but it was only barely. Bobo getting the most kills, and again, this hill I think really did help him out because he didn't even have to push down or anything because we just basically came straight to him, which is honestly probably not the wisest choice to charge dwarves that were on a hill like that, but still, it was all good fun in the end. We can take a quick look at these kills. 192 kills for my Dragon Knights. They probably should have gotten more, honestly. I was not the best at microing them in this game. My Dragon's Breath crossbows didn't do horrible, and again, my Sapphire Bladesmen didn't do too well. Honestly, my Tribesmen, my standard Balcroft Tribesmen also didn't do super great. Eastern Clan Chiefs, those 28 kills were all against the Ironfoot Warghosts, so I was fine with that, honestly. My Flagrim did pretty good, same with my Siren did ish. They were like, okay, I guess. My Gamprim also did alright. Well, 2 units of them did pretty good, the other unit did not. The Strong Guard were just kind of there, same. The Clansmen actually doing pretty good. 156 kills and 114 kills, so not bad for Clansmen. But yeah, that'll pretty much be the end of this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next one. So farewell wherever you fare, till your Irish receive you at your journey's end.